10,000 miles is a long way to go to get a book, and $150,000 is a lot to pay for it when you get there. But this wasn't the first such trip I'd made for the Grantham Museum. In the past, I'd been the traveling companion for a Gutenberg Bible, a Stradivarius violin, an ancient Persian tapestry, and millions of dollars worth of other assorted treasures. Now I was in Singapore to bring back a 6th century manuscript of the Koran, the Mohammedan book of scriptures. My job was to get it from a man who had it for sale, a book dealer named Jonathan Hadley. I was to pay him for it and take it back to the States. Just a simple, routine job. Or so it seemed until I reached Hadley's shop.
Looking for someone?
What happened here?
An explosion and fire. Happened a couple of days ago. Were you a customer of Hadley's?
Well, is that any business of yours?
As a matter of fact, yes.
British military intelligence.
Lieutenant Townsend. And your name, sir?
Adams, Dan Adams.
May I see some identification, Mr. Adams? An American, eh? And what is your business here in Singapore?
I'm here to take delivery of a manuscript from Jonathan Hadley.
A manuscript of what?
The Koran.
The Koran?
I seem to have hit a nerve.
I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to come with me, sir.
Where?
To talk to Major Durham, my superior officer. My car's across the street.
And just what is the Grantham Museum, Mr. Adams?
It's a private museum endowed by James Grantham of the Grantham Steel Company. Look, will you tell me what goes on?
Are you going to pretend that you don't know?
Know what?
That the manuscript you came to Singapore to get is the Ottoman Koran?
Is it?
Now, see here, Adams.
I haven't time to play games, Mr. Adams.
Neither have I, Major, so I'll stop mine if you'll stop yours. Yes, I know the manuscript I came here to get is the Ottoman Koran. And it is or was the most sacred version of the Mohammedan scriptures.
And you know that it's been missing for over 40 years?
Well, I know that it was taken from a mosque in Istanbul at the end of World War I.
Well, my government is obligated by the Treaty of Versailles to find the Koran and return it to the Turkish government.
Well, everybody has problems, Major. What has yours got to do with me?
Mr. Adams, I don't think you realize how important this matter is. Jonathan Hadley's shop was dynamited. And Hadley himself has disappeared because of the Koran.
Somebody's playing rough.
Yes, and that somebody is a Russian, Colonel Delker, with the help of a Chinese named Nang.
Who are they?
Colonel Delker is a known communist agent.
Well, what's their interest in the Koran?
Well, the communists could help their cause in the Middle East immeasurably if they could pose as the true friends of the Muslim world by returning this religious treasure to Turkey.
What makes you think they don't already have it?
Well, because we know that Colonel Delker is still in Singapore. We don't know where, but we know he's here.
And Hadley?
Well, we believe the communists tried to buy the Koran from Hadley, but that he refused to sell it to them.
And they bombed his shop to try and intimidate him.
Well, at least that's our guess. And after the bombing, Hadley went into hiding. Well, I'm afraid you're going home empty-handed, Mr. Adams, but here's your passport and your gun permit, and would you take my advice, get out of Singapore?
Is that a threat?
No, it's just a friendly suggestion.
Well, don't be too disappointed if I don't take it. My client reached an agreement concerning the sale of the Koran. I intend to try and find Jonathan Hadley and complete the deal.
The Ottoman Koran is not Hadley's to sell, nor yours to buy.
What's the British claim to it?
Our government has pledged to the Turkish authorities to return it.
What makes you think my client would return it to its rightful owner after he's bought it? Look, I was hired to find the Koran, and I'm going to do the job if possible. After that, what happens to it is between you, my client, and the Turkish government.
Mr. Adams, a word of warning. You're on British territory and you're subject to its laws. There's a warrant out for the arrest of Hadley. And if you find him and don't report it, you can be prosecuted for aiding a fugitive. Remember that.
I went back to my hotel, put in a call to my client, and explained the situation. Grantham still wanted the Koran if I could get it for him. It was Grantham's position that the question of legal ownership of the manuscript was academic until it was recovered, and I agreed. Hello?
Mr. Adams?
Yes, this is Adams.
I have a message for you.
I can't hear you.
Just a moment. Hello?
Oh, that's better.
I have a message for you from Mr. Hadley. He wishes to see you.
Where and when?
Be on the corner of Scarlett Road and April Lane at 9 o'clock tonight. Come alone and be certain you're not followed.
The corner of Scarlett Road and April Lane was less than 2 miles from my hotel, but I spent the better part of an hour riding 10 miles in 3 different taxis to get there. By then, I was confident I had lost anybody who might be trying to follow me.
Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Are you certain you weren't followed?
Well, I did my best to make sure. Where's Hadley?
I'll take you to him. They are the men who bombed the shop.
Girl.
Wait! Mr. Hadley's in there. Mr. Hadley?
Back here. He's in a bad way. I better get him an ambulance. Where's the nearest telephone?
In the cafe, on the corner where we met.
Did Hadley have the Koran here?
He gave it to me to keep for him.
Oh, good. You wait here.
I'm afraid.
Well, take this and keep the door locked. You'll be all right. I have to get him an ambulance. You lock that door behind me.
Get that thing out of my eyes.
Well, Lieutenant Townsend, it's a small world. Or is it?
You ought to have known you'd be followed. What happened, Joe?
Never mind me. The girl and Hadley are down the cellar. Hadley's been pretty badly beaten up.
Oh, we better take a look. Call an ambulance.
Hadley's under there.
And the girl?
I don't know. That door was supposed to be locked.
You didn't mention he'd also been shot.
Shot?
Yes, and he's dead.
Oh, it's mine. Don't tell me. Let me guess. It's been fired. I left it with the girl.
What girl?
The girl that brought me here to meet Hadley.
Don't you know her name?
No.
Or what happened to her?
No, unless whoever slugged me forced her to leave with them. Look, when the girl and I came in the alley, we saw two men come out of here.
Oh.
Now, apparently they're the two communist agents that Major Durham mentioned. At least the girl says they're the men that bombed Hadley's shop.
And you think they could have come back, attacked you, and kidnapped the girl?
It's possible.
Is it? I noticed the door as we came in. It hasn't been forced. Now, if there was a girl here as you maintain...
There was.
And she locked herself in, how could anyone gain entrance?
Well, I don't know, but...
I'm afraid that under the circumstances, Mr. Adams, I shall have to ask the police to detain you.
On what charge?
Suspicion of murder.
Ah, Mr. Adams, the police gave me permission to have you brought here for questioning.
Any time now, all of you are going to wake up and realize you're making fools of yourselves.
Wait outside.
You can't really believe that I beat Hadley, shot him, left my gun there, and then went out in the alley and knocked myself out.
That's what we're here to talk about. Sit down.
Well, if you believe I killed Hadley, what's there to talk about?
The Othman Koran.
The girl has it.
But
I know your lieutenant's convinced you there isn't any girl. Let me tell you something. If you ever want to see the Koran, you better get over that quaint notion. Both of you.
And if we do, what then?
Turn me loose and let me try to find the girl. Look, I have a lot better chance of finding her than you do.
Really?
Well, look at it from the girl's standpoint. She has the Koran. With Hadley dead, it's hers to sell now.
Go on.
Well, who's the logical person for her to go to? She knows me. She knows I want to buy it and that I have the money to pay for it. She also knows how to contact me.
What do you think, Lieutenant?
Adams is overlooking one thing. If there is such a girl, then she may be the one who shot Hadley. In which case, she's not going to contact anybody. At least, not in Singapore.
The girl didn't shoot Hadley.
And how do you know?
Why would she wait so long? Why would she take me to that cellar before she killed him? Why would she kill him at all? She already has the Koran.
I still think it's a mistake to release Adams, sir. If there's a girl, we'll find her.
If those two red agents don't find her first. Of course, that's up to you. I'll see if that patrolman can give me a lift back to police headquarters.
Just a minute, Mr. Adams. The lieutenant may be right. It may be a mistake to release you, but I'm going to take that chance. On one condition, that you'll give me your word that if you find this girl, you'll inform me immediately.
But you warned him to let us know if he found Hadley, and look what happened.
I know. Mr. Adams, you're going to be in a great deal of trouble if you don't cooperate.
If I find the girl, you'll be the first one to know where she is. Well, I want something from you.
And what's that?
A free hand. I don't want to have to look over my shoulder all the time to see if one of your men is following me.
You won't be followed.
Good night, gentlemen. It was after midnight when Major Durham agreed to release me. I went straight back to my hotel room. I was beat, and I decided that before I started knocking myself out looking for her, I'd give the girl a chance to contact me. This is Mr. Adams in 819. Are there any calls or messages for me? And thanks. I couldn't wait any longer for a call that might never come. But where do you start looking for a nameless girl in a strange oriental city of 1 million people? I knew of only one place to go, back to the street corner where I'd met the girl the night before. And then it came to me, something dimly remembered. Music. The music I'd heard over the telephone when I talked to the girl and made the date to meet her. The call had been made from here. The girl had met me here. This was probably her neighborhood. If so, somebody would know her. Hello.
That's crazy stuff, Joe. You want pizza? Make all kinds. Anchovy, cheese, sausages, all kinds. Real Italian pizza.
I'm looking for a girl.
You come wrong place, Joe. This is pizza joint. No girls here.
The one I'm looking for made a phone call from here yesterday afternoon. Chinese girl, very pretty, 21 or so. When I saw her last night, she was wearing a black and white print dress. You know her?
Never see girl like that, Joe.
You sure?
No girl. Come in here like that, Joe.
That's too bad. I have a lot of money that belongs to her.
Joe.
It's all right, Wong.
See you later, Joe.
Why he call me Joe?
Well, maybe we'd better start with your name.
I'm Kim Lu Chen.
What happened to you last night?
I followed you to the door. I was going to close it and lock it, but when I looked out, I saw a man bending over you in the shadows across the alley.
Know who the man was?
His back was to me, and it was dark. I lost my head. All I could think of was to get away from there, and I started to run. The man followed me all the way to the end of the alley, but I got away from him. I was going to telephone you, but there's no phone in this house, and I've been so afraid to go out.
Where's the Koran?
Do you still want to buy it?
I'll pay you what I was going to pay Hadley for it.
I want cash, Mr. Adams.
I'll have to cash the letter of credit I'm carrying. It'll take a little time.
I'll wait.
Is the Koran here?
It will be when you return with the money.
You don't trust anyone, do you?
After what's happened, would you?
No. I'll be back as soon as I can. And do as I say this time, will you? Lock the door. It took almost 2 hours to turn the letter of credit into cash. From the bank, I telephoned Major Durham and told him where to meet me.
Are you still going to buy the Koran from this woman? Well, you're throwing your client's money away, Mr. Adams.
Well, we'll argue about that after we get the manuscript. Wait a minute. Told her to lock this.
Delka and Nang.
Oh, but how'd they find her?
They could have followed you here.
Yeah, they could have.
It's the only explanation. We're the only ones who knew she was here.
Outside of Wong, and he was protecting her.
Now the question is, did Delka and Nang find the Koran?
Well, I don't think they'd have killed her if they hadn't.
I just got your message, sir, and good Lord, Delka and Nang?
That's my guess. You better go out and find a telephone and call the police, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
The police arrived and took over. Durham, Townsend, and I told our stories, and an all-out manhunt was launched for the communist agents Delker and Nang.
Well, you look just about done in, Townsend.
Well, sir, this business doesn't leave much time for sleep.
Well, why don't you go home and get a few hours' rest?
Oh, no, sir, there's too much to do. But I would like to go home and get a fresh shirt, if you don't mind.
All right, run along.
All right, so I'll see you later at the office.
Right.
Goodbye, Adam.
Now, Mr. Adams, may I give you a lift back to your hotel?
Oh, no, thanks, Major. I'll walk.
Right. Oh, and remember, Adams, don't leave Singapore without both the police's permission and mine.
Who is it?
Adams,
What are you doing here?
I want to have a talk with you, alone. Something's been bothering me. Back at Kim's room, Major Durham said he and I were the only ones that knew where the girl lived. And almost at that exact minute, you walked in.
Oh, the Major left a message at the office. He wanted me to meet him there.
All I gave Durham was the street address, not Kim's name or her room number. Now, there must be 25 rooms in that building, Townsend. How'd you know the right one to go to?
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that maybe it was Delker and Nang that killed Kim Lu Chan.
It was.
No, it wasn't. It was you. If they could have trailed me this morning, so could you. You followed me to Kim's building, and when I left, you went in and killed her.
You're out of your mind.
And it was you that slugged me in that alley last night. And after Kim ran away, you went down in the cellar and shot Hadley with my gun.
But why would I do that?
To frame me for Hadley's murder and take me out of the running for the Koran.
Oh, get out of here.
Not yet. You figured you had it made. If anything backfired, you could always blame it on those communist agents.
All right, Adams. Let's say you're right. I'm not admitting anything, mind you, but let's suppose what you say is true. What then?
They still use the gallows in Singapore, don't they?
Haven't you forgotten one thing?
You mean the Koran?
I found it, Adams. No, it's not here. I've hidden it in a place where no one will find it. Never in a million years. If I go to the gallows, the Ottoman Koran will be lost forever. And don't think Her Majesty's government won't take that into consideration before it hangs me. But it's not going to come to that, Adams. That's Colonel Delker. I have an appointment with him. He's going to buy the Koran from me. Now get away from that door.
Where'd you hide it?
Where you'll never find it. Not in a million years.
Durham here. Yes, Adams?
I'm calling from Lieutenant Townsend's apartment. I think you'd better get over here.
What are you doing there?
You'll find out when you get here. And don't hurry, you've got all the time in the world. A million years, as a matter of fact.